1, and there you go. Watch. So when I show up, can you see me? Am I on camera?
Yeah.
Okay, it's lovely to have you as my producer today. Let me get
your what?
I'm getting my secondary screen so that I can see when people are talking to me. Okay. Right. I can see everything. There's no one there yet. It's just you and I. Hello. Sir. Hello. Welcome to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. If you're wondering why I've got such a big smile on my face, it's because I've got my little producer right behind me, and I think, do you feel proud, sir?
Don't know.
How are you feeling right now? You're blushing.
Don't know. I'm not blushing.
How are you feeling?
Don't think that just because I can't see my own face.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
all I can see through is my eyes, not my face.
Okay, that's fine. Just look at the comments for me. Okay, are you still happy to produce the show today? Are you happy to produce us today?
No, I don't know.
Okay, let's get on.
So it could be a yes or it could be a no.
I know. It could be somewhere in between, but we are here now. Well, if you didn't think you were going to see me on a Saturday, yes, we are not normally here on a Saturday, but this is a special Saturday because we have our mini producer and we are talking all things Swiss Meringue Buttercream. We are going to be making a full batch of Swiss Buttercream, and then I'm going to be answering some very common questions that are asked about Swiss Meringue Buttercream when you get to make it. So if you happen to join me here, hello there, great to have you. And I hope this video is of some use to you. Now, Swiss Meringue Buttercream is a sort of buttercream option that I have covered on the channel time and again. I have talked to death about it.
Someone said something. God bless you.
Oh, Jack, you too, Jack. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Jack, where are you joining us from? And yeah, I hope you're having a good day. It's evening right here in the UK. And if you hear an unusual voice over the screen, Jack, it is our little producer who is here today, giving us a hand and motivating us. So if you're just joining us, we're making Swiss Meringue Buttercream. And some of the commonly asked questions about Swiss Meringue Buttercream ranges from how it is made, and whether it's a good buttercream option, whether it's beginner friendly.
Scotland,
there are so...
and I am, thank you. What?
Oh, okay. Jack is from Scotland, and Kanchan, is it Kanchan?
I don't really.
Oh,
know
thanks,
what
Jack.
that means.
You too. Good luck. And
Mama,
yeah.
what does 6-7 mean?
I don't know. That's
is that just a number?
Yes, that is Brooke does physics. Brooke does physics. 6-7. What does that even mean? Some of us don't understand. I hope it's a good thing. By the way,
all I know is a meme. That's all I know.
Okay, that's fine. And Jack says good luck. So Jack, you too, and thank you for stopping by. Right. I hope Scotland is fine though. The weather here today is a little bit sketchy. I hope the weather is better and you have some beautiful highland views and countryside. Look at me. This is me generalizing
What
Scotland.
type of cake are you baking?
I am not making a cake, Jack. I am making buttercream, and I am making Swiss Meringue Buttercream. It's a European style buttercream that is made from meringue and butter. Darling, please don't do that. Okay, because if you
say 6-7, why don't you?
Oh, Austin, thank you.
Get the likes up, my goodness. Okay, that. Okay. Oh, sounds nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Jack says it sounds nice, and Austin is telling the group to get the likes up, which is amazing. Thank you, Austin. Thank you for stopping by. Austin, where are you joining us from? Look. If I say I will stay and engage and interact, we will not get this buttercream sorted. Making Swiss Meringue buttercream is kind of a lengthy process, okay? If you put your hand there, it will be on camera. So please, yep.
Well, at least it was only a hand.
Yeah, but it's blocking the camera view, so don't do that.
Where are you from? No, that's to Aston, California. Okay.
Oh, okay. Kanchan is asking me, where am I from, ma'am? Okay, originally from Ghana, but I live in the UK now with my family. And
wait, Mama, was that to all of us? Like, was that to me too? Like,
yeah.
Where am I from?
Well, we are all from somewhere. You are from the UK, but...
No, I'm not.
Where are you from?
Well, I was born in the UK,
but you lived in France for a little bit.
Yes,
and then you came back.
French.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, you can answer that. But, babe...
No, there's lots of chat.
There is lots of chat. Where are you from?
Where
okay.
you from?
So, I've answered that.
What is ma'am? What is ma'am? What does ma'am
Jack,
mean?
Jack donating £2 to Jack. Thank you. Jack has dropped us a super chat of £2. People in the chat, give it up for our Jack from Scotland. Jack, shall we say thank you very much for your super chat? We are grateful.
Why does it say Jack £2 super chat?
Because he dropped us a donation. Because Jack is being super kind right now. And Jack didn't have to.
And who's Jack?
We don't know Jack. But Jack is someone on the internet who decides to show kindness today. Don't you think? It's lovely. Look, people.
Well, if they have thumbnails for their like if you look at the chat, it says a J on Jack.
Yeah.
Is that channel? Like, is that like their channel thumbnail?
Sometimes people have channels, but we don't know yet. When we are done with the live, we will go back and check if... Jack, you can answer this question simply for us. Do you run a channel yourself, or you are just a happy individual on this side of the internet? The little guy is very curious to know.
I'm not curious.
But you asked the question. It's okay.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to ask a question.
No, it's okay. So we are asking Jack, and Jack should answer it for us. Okay? People in the chat, give it up for Jack. And Jack, thank you for the donation over there. And Faceless is asking a question. I think I missed that. Let's see. I don't want to miss...
I don't know what does physics.
Oh, okay. Kanchan.
I don't know what they're talking about. Lol from India.
No, Kanchan is saying they're from India because they
Who's
were
Kanchan?
Kanchan is here. Kanchan.
Can I scroll up?
Please no, don't touch that screen.
Why can't I scroll up?
Because it has to be steady. It doesn't scroll. This is the one you scroll. So you just read it as it's going up. If you touch it, the live will end. Okay?
Hello, Auntie. What are you we making?
Brian, darling, how are
who
you?
Who is the auntie?
Me. You know what? I'm everybody.
No, then do you know who Brian Dean is?
You know what? I don't know Brian, but something tells me Brian may have stopped here before. And Brian just wants to say hello. You know, I'm everybody's internet auntie because I make cakes over here. Okay?
Said hi.
Hi, Brian. Look.
Okay, I don't know what said hi means.
Well, said hi just means hi.
So, why do they have to pronounce... Why do they have to say it out loud and just say hi?
Because people are being polite. Okay. And sometimes people ask that I say hi back. So they know that their message has been seen.
I don't have content. I just came on to spread love and support.
Oh, PPL. Jack, sir.
What is PPL?
People. It's the short form of people. So can we clap for Jack? Everybody be like Jack. Be kind, spread some love. And
yes, it's all respect.
Oh, thank you, Brian. People, thank you all for your support. Look, I invited the little producer to be of help to me here, but from
there's not really anything to do other than you are reading comments.
You are reading the messages.
And I have a question.
Go ahead.
Except Brian and Jack, and also Brooke does physics. The rest of the people, they've said some things, but only once. They haven't said anything else.
No, they keep saying, all of them keep saying something. All of them, except that.
Can I be the mod, please?
Please, who is asking to be the mod?
Brooke does physics.
Brooke does physics. Go ahead, moderate the keep people chatting. Brooke, thank you for nominating yourself. Look, I have mods, but this week I have been a hot mess. I haven't been very present, and I haven't announced whether I'm going to be here or not on the community post. So my mods don't even know I am here. So if you want to moderate the chat for me, please go ahead. Just do you, and keep company with the people. Because making Swiss Meringue buttercream is a lot. It's a lot. Okay?
What does BTW mean? So what is Brian Dean saying?
BTW says, by the way, look.
The kid is so curious. Okay.
Little guy. Is it Brian, I'm not making African food, okay? We don't cook African food on here. I'm Ghanaian.
What sort of cake are you? We're not making it.
We're not making a cake. We're making Swiss Meringue buttercream.
Is it an African food? We're not making a food either.
We're not making a food. We're making buttercream. It's Swiss Meringue buttercream. It's a European style buttercream that is made from meringue, which is egg white based, and then you put some butter into it. It's sometimes appears very complex and difficult. I have
Do
made
you
it here
speak African too?
Well, African is not.
Well, speak African now if you're Ghanaian.
Well,
then you have to prove it.
I'm trying to make a correction. African is not a language, okay?
Brian Dean, sorry for what?
No, it's fine.
He didn't even do anything.
No, you need to learn something. Africa is not one place. Africa is a big place with so many countries.
I know. A country is smaller than a continent. A continent is something that carries little countries inside.
Fantastic.
Like the UK, like in America, the United Kingdom.
Teach them, will you?
Hey!
That is so sweet. So you see, I come from one of the countries on the continent of Africa. Okay?
Yes, so I know.
So don't ask me to speak. Speak African. There's no African. There's Ghanaian though. And even
speak Ghanaian then.
Well, in Ghana we speak so many different languages.
Okay, just say one language. Like say hello in Ghanaian.
Okay, we don't have hello, but we say etisei, which is how are you? Okay, when I say
nice to meet you, ma'am. Why do you always get Mama, why do you always get called ma'am?
Because, you see, that's just a sign of respect. You see how you call people by miss this, miss that? Somebody saying ma'am is a sign of respect. And just being polite.
Isn't your channel name Gladys Cake Kitchen?
Yeah, but not everyone knows my name is Gladys. What? Be careful, baby.
Oh, that's because your real name is Gladys.
Yes, and it's the name on the channel. Look, I brought my little producer to help me.
Why am I always falling off this stand?
Because you were shaking on it, Bab. Okay.
So, who will eat all the buttercream? We're not eating it.
Well, that is a
I
simple
will
answer.
be back in minutes.
Okay.
Bye for now.
That's fine. Surprise, surprise. We'll see you in a moment.
And when are you cooking soup and fufu?
Brian, we are not making soup and fufu anytime soon.
Oh my God, we're not chef. We're not cooking.
We're not doing that.
We are not cooking.
We are not doing that. Okay, Baba, can I ask you for a moment to not read the comment, because I'm just trying to pass some information quickly and then we'll continue.
What is the information?
You will hear me say it in a minute.
You won't tell me the information, but you'll tell me the information.
No, I'm starting now. So, because if you talk back at me, I'm not able to do it. So let me do that and then we'll go back to talking in a minute. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. You were so good and you were so kind. All right. Anyway, people.
I didn't really do anything bad or kind.
Well, you were still reading.
So I'm just talking about what they said.
You were still reading.
Because you only told me to read the comments, nothing else.
Yeah, you were doing that, and you're doing that very well, actually, because you're keeping the group entertained. Okay, right? So let's stay here, right? Good people. I have my producer for the evening who is helping me. But it seems like the producer might be the reason why
Smart mother.
The producer might be the reason why you may not learn about Swiss Meringue Buttercream today, okay? Because the producer passing me comments and being a distraction is the thing that...
I'm not distraction. Okay, if I'm a distraction, what are you?
I am the problem.
If I'm a distraction, you're the problem.
I think so. Okay.
And if I'm the problem, you're the distraction.
Okay, listening time, babe. You're doing very well. So, Mama is teaching now. Shh. Okay, good people. Swiss Meringue Buttercream. It's an European...
Well, if you're teaching...
Not yet. Don't
No, look. Wait, I'll read. So, listen time, lol. Mom, why my farts stink like rotten eggs while I haven't ate an egg the last hour? What? He is gaslighting your mom. He loves you, cute kid. Your problem solver. Brian Dean. Well, if you're gonna listen, so I'm just gonna I'll come back.
Where are you going, babe?
Well, you're introducing now, so you said that you're doing a bit of listen, like you're telling them a bit of a thing. So while you do that, you can tell me when to come back.
Oh no, you.
Bye bye. I'll come back.
Carrie, thank you. The kid is gone. You know why? The kid has other plans. Okay.
I don't have other plans.
You're sure?
Oh my god.
Oh. Okay, people. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, my people. Okay. The little fella has taken a seat. He says he hasn't got any other plans. And his mom, I believe him. When I say I believe him, it is as believable as the fox in the chicken coop. Okay? That's all. Right. Oh, people. He's like, let me just make sure my mic is on. Oh, God. Okay. I didn't charge my mic. It's died. All right. Let's go and put it to charge. Who thought this would be a good idea? 1 second. Don't worry, I'm not trying to get naked over here. I'm just trying to get rid of the microphone so we can get it to charge ASAP. Bear with me. I thought you said you didn't have any plans, sir.
Dad, watching on the computer is not a plan. A
Isn't
plan is like eating lunch, eating dinner, and like planning other things. And no.
Okay, I believe you.
So computering is not a plan.
Okay, go ahead.
A plan is like a plan. Like so there's two types of plans.
Dude, I believe
So Mama, look, there's two types of plans.
Mm-hmm.
There's one plan where it's like plan B and plan Z, plan E, like those plans.
Okay,
and there's plans suggests like in lunch, dinner.
Okay.
Shower,
You go sit down. I believe you, sir. I believe you. Love you.
I think that is a verb.
That's okay. I believe you. People. It's a Saturday and I'm a full-time mom and you're in my home kitchen and we are very unfiltered over here, people. Most of the time, okay? Most of the time he is distracted and he goes. Today I thought I would get him off and employ him as my my invisible producer, but I think that has I think that has proved a little bit challenging. So we'll leave him to enjoy his program over there. He has something else that is distracting him over there. Can we talk about being a mom? As a mom, I just wanted to cut his screen time. Don't tell him. That's all. So I brought him over to work. And it seems like the kid has plans. So can we just leave it? Okay? Can we just let the kid be a kid and then we get to class? But if you don't know what Swiss Meringue Buttercream is, Swiss Meringue Buttercream is a European style sort of buttercream that is made from a meringue with butter added to collapse the meringue, and then it turns into a very silky, great, less than sweet tasting buttercream that is amazing. It's a good alternative to Italian buttercream, which is super like professional standard sort of buttercream. But most beginners do struggle with Swiss Meringue Buttercream, and I've covered the subject of Swiss Meringue Buttercream in every and any way. What I haven't done though is specifically answer specific questions about the subject of Swiss Meringue Buttercream. I have done it in parts now and again, but today I'm going to try and break down maybe 5 to 10 questions that surround Swiss Meringue Buttercream, and I'm going to answer it along the way as we make Swiss Meringue Buttercream, just so that if you go to make Swiss Meringue Buttercream, you are informed and have every information to help you get great results. Whilst we are in class, if you want to moderate the chat or keep each other company over there, I'll be super grateful. I do have a very hands-on selection of mods, but I normally don't show up on a Saturday. My mods know I don't show. The lives are Tuesday through to Thursday, and it changed recently from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you have a long form video on Thursday and Sunday, and then in between there is at least 5 days of shorts. So I produce content in every and any format generally to assist you, but it seems like today I had a bit of time, the boy is about, and I just thought, you know what, instead of just sitting here and editing and having an argument with a child over the use of a computer, let's come and make some buttercream, and then I can hand you some valuable information to help you on your own journey. Now, there was a question in the chat. I think whoever asked the question has since moved on. They were asking who's going to eat all that buttercream. I'm a baker by profession, and I actually take custom cake offers from clients. So this is a batch of buttercream that is going to go towards client cakes. So I'm actually making 2 batches, but I'm not making both batches online. I'm just going to make 1 batch. Am I? Well, we'll see. I'm going to make a full batch for you to see, and then probably start on the second batch, and then if that stops somewhere along the line, that is completely fine. So Carrie, oh, thank you, Carrie. Carrie, you are so sweet. First of all, Swiss Meringue Buttercream. Is it hard? Simple question. Is it hard to make? The truth is, it's not hard, but it requires specific processes which cannot be skipped. You skip one process, the whole thing will come collapsing. Okay? Is it hard? No. It requires discipline. It requires being very specific, and it requires just being like adhering to the process. For instance, before I got here, as you can see, I didn't just organize my ingredients for the sake of the tutorial. I organized my ingredients to get ahead of staying organized and making sure that things are all prepped and set for me. Why am I doing that? Because first of all, before you even come to the point of making the buttercream, where you add the egg whites into a sugar and then set it over a double boiler, the bowls, every bowl except for this butter, has to be degreased. And by degreased, I mean, because I use my bowls for baking, there's always going to be fat or oil residue in the bowls I use, including the sponges I use in cleaning up. And those residue do not work well, and when they come into contact with egg white, they will interfere with how your egg white whips and ultimately affect the volume and process for your meringue. So to avoid the possibility of any traces of fat, oil in any form, you want to make sure that you wash all your bowls. Anything that is coming into contact with your egg white is, I mean, clean. So I have to wash them twice and then get myself a clean sponge to do it. I don't use the sponge that I use normally. I mean, I recycle my, I replace my sponges if you like, but for every time I have to make Swiss Meringue buttercream, I have to get myself a new and used sponge, just because your sponge will soak up oil residue anyway. So using that on the same things that you're trying to rid of any fat residue or oil is just pointless. So that's what I do. And then I always then have to get myself one of these. I mean, as a baker, this is a help. But one of these, making Swiss Meringue buttercream is great on a good day like this. Why? Because I then add some vinegar. Here is my distilled vinegar, distilled white vinegar. You get it into your kitchen towel, and then you wipe down everything. The vinegar will break down the oil and fat residue in a way that washing up alone cannot do. So just doing all of those things will set your meringue making process up for a good outcome from the start. Okay, that aside, the next thing you want to consider is the egg whites themselves. So when you're separating the eggs, it's not a fuss when we say make sure there is no trace of egg yolk in your egg white. Make sure, because any traces of egg yolks in your egg white will interfere with your meringue making. And that is because egg yolks are fatty. They contain a high amount of fats, which you are actually trying to get rid of by washing up and then degreasing by using vinegar. So having an egg yolk traceable in your egg white is just not good for your outcomes at all. So by the time you separate your eggs, wash up and clean up and organize your ingredient, it's like a headache. And I have to have a process for even organizing my ingredients, in that I don't touch the butter in any form until the egg white bits are completely done. Because you go touch your butter, you come, you touch your bowl, you move stuff around, before you see, you have trouble, because then you've transferred the fat back into the bowl, and then all that you've done is kind of gone off. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's something to do and something to remember. You just have to try and keep everything clean. I realized that I wasn't able to talk about the ingredients here. That is simply because I have covered Swiss Meringue buttercream, and actually I have a buttercream playlist on this channel that you can go and see most of my buttercreams covered, and I've taken time to break down Swiss Meringue buttercream, but I'm going to cover the ingredients quickly over here. In this bowl is just water. Okay, think about the bowl, the saucepan split into three. A third of the pan is filled with water. Tip here, don't overfill it, just enough water that it can create steam. I'll explain why that is necessary in a minute. But in this bowl is 270 grams of egg whites, and into that is 300 grams of granulated sugar. Now I've set the sugar and the egg whites on here to slowly. Cooking is not the word, because we are not cooking it vigorously. We are using steam from the saucepan to warm up the bowl, which will in turn slowly cook the eggs to a pasteurized temperature of 165 degree F, or the equivalent temperature of 71 degrees C. That is the temperature where the egg whites are safe of any foodborne bacteria. By so doing, we then transfer it into a mixing bowl, which is one of these. And mind you, I have one K-mix Kenwood mixer, but I have two bowls, just so that on days like this I can make two batches of buttercream without having to scoop, wash, and start all over again. And those have all been cleaned and degreased which is why they are behind me over there. So that's the sugar and egg white set over a double boiler. Now I have about 100 grams of icing sugar here. Most Swiss meringue buttercream recipes you will find outside don't actually encourage the use of, bear with me, don't encourage the use of extra sugar, because the intention is to actually make Swiss meringue buttercream less sweet. Now I add icing sugar here to bulk up the buttercream, but also to add a bit of taste. It doesn't overly sweet it. The thing with Swiss meringue buttercream is that the icing sugar is adaptable. Okay, you can eliminate it completely, you can add it, and the quantities are variable. If you're a person who just doesn't want to deal with the sweetness of sugar, you can completely eliminate it. But if you don't mind a bit of sugar, you can add enough. For the quantity of ingredients I have here, 100 grams of icing sugar is just enough to give you such a balanced taste and a mouthfeel that doesn't leave the buttercream overly battery. Because one of the questions you will commonly find about Swiss meringue buttercream is how battery it feels when you kind of eat it. And one way to kind of mitigate that issue is to add icing sugar, because then the sugar sort of balances the mouthfeel and cancel out the overly battery mouthfeel of the Swiss meringue buttercream. But a tip here, whilst you're cooking this slowly, keep an eye. Don't be like me, okay? Don't get distracted. Don't go do anything else, because you move, you come back, and you have scrambled eggs. But in this point, I don't know if you want to be some health conscious person eating scrambled eggs without egg yolks. I don't know what that tastes like. Oh, that would be so bland. Just saying. There's Paul. Paul says, I love your cooking channel. Paul, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Where are you joining us from? Carrie, I may have misread. Where are you joining us from? I know I did ask earlier, and some friends of ours are coming from India, some from California, and Jack, who made a super chat donation, is from Scotland. Paul and Carrie, where are you joining us from? Are you in the UK? Are you somewhere else? Look, we are always curious to know where you're joining us from and what your day has been like, okay? My day has been amazing, okay? When I look like this, it's been a good day, because believe me, I think yesterday or the day before, it didn't feel like this at all. It was busy, and I literally showed up in the kitchen. I'm like, look, it takes a lot of time to be like this, okay? These lashes aren't mine, and the brows aren't mine either, but I don't care, okay? Paul says, Niagara, ooh, Carrie, you are my sweet Canadian friend over there. Oh, Ontario, lovely to have you. I just hope everyone who joins the chat today will feel some Canadian kindness. Is that an overgeneralized and sort of just a wrong label, or it's actually I mean, being labeled kind and sweet as a country is not a bad thing, but is that really true generally? Okay. Because the Brits are known for being proper, but very brutal in a polite way. So anyway, Vidal, is it Vidal? Oh, Carrie says you bring joy to the world. Look, I am sure we all bring a little speck of joy into the world in our own small way, okay? And as Paul was saying over there, no politics, no preaching. Look, if you stay here longer, you will know we talk about Jesus. But that's not the primary intention. The channel is a cake making channel, and the simple tag or the value proposition I make to you every day is to bring you simple, informative tutorials in a very beginner friendly way to help you along your journey. I don't want to deviate from that, but I am a whole person. I have experiences, plus the channel has an eclectic group of people All of us have unique experiences, and because we have created a very wholesome community here, I know, I hope it stays that way, but we are such a wholesome community. So the community has evolved into being something else where the value from the channel is more eclectic than just cake. I mean, as a community, if you're having a bad day and you stop by, we'll hold your hand, okay? And if we have to encourage you, we encourage you from biblical principles, because that's where my belief system is. But if that's not what you believe in, look, we are not judging. Just pick a seat at the table. If you came to my house and knocked on my door on a good day, and I am not like up in the clouds, okay? I'll offer you a cup of tea and a slice of cake. How are you doing? Okay, and that's the feel we have over here. So I just hope you know that I am not responsible for bringing the love. You know, water descends to its level. Okay, so we will get somewhere and we all sort of meet each other halfway. I am sure if I was a bad person, there will be a couple of people out here encouraging me. I said the internet is a dark place, people. It is. Paul Smith says no man passion. Paul, you're right. Paul, are you in the middle of it? Who is bashing you? Paul, darling. Paul, where are you joining us from? Because Paul, you got in the chat and you're like, oh, this is my place. No politics, no preaching, no man bashing. Okay, Carrie. Carrie, can you tell us why the men aren't to be played with? No, I'm kidding. Paul. I mean, the truth is, cake brings love and happiness, okay? There is... May, look, I'm just going to say May Rosha, just in an acknowledgement. I can't pronounce the entire thing and I don't want to butcher your name over there, okay? Ooh, May, thank you. May is joining us from Brazil. Thank you. And you know what, Paul Smith, your name reminds me of one of my favorite perfumes from past time. I don't know if that's a bad sign. There's a brand, Paul Smith, right? And today I'm not feeling that brand at all. And Carrie is saying it's a good thing we have a shared goal and I hope some good comes out of it. You know what? By God's grace, that's all we pray for. You know, every time we show up in the world, we show up with the best intention and we trust that that will touch somebody. Look, like I said, the value system in the from the group is not just limited to cakes. There is so much we gain from each other here. Look, I have been supported over here. Sometimes it blows my mind how kind the internet and a bunch of strangers just supporting your dream can feel like. Okay, and for that I am incredibly grateful. Okay, so if you're having a bad day, come sit down, have a cup of tea and talk to us. We won't judge. We listen, we don't judge. Okay, we do. We will listen, we won't judge you. And May say, nice to meet me. Oh, May, great to have you. Great to have you, and I hope you are having a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, good day in Brazil. Look, May, you have just had our Prince William up there. How is the atmosphere? He's left now. He's back. He's back here. But I hope you had a good time celebrating. Is it Air Shot and Cop, whatever that is? How was the atmosphere over there? That is if you're involved. Because for a few days last week, Brazil was right in the middle of it. And we were so excited. Now, when making Swiss Meringue Buttercream, For a minute, you would have thought we were doing anything but. Okay, when you're making Swiss meringue buttercream, sometimes the intention for the double boiler here is not stated very clearly. The double boiler here plays a very important role, because not only is the heat helping to dissolve the sugar, because when you dip your hands in, you should make sure you don't feel the sugar at all. Because if you can feel the sugar being gritty, then it hasn't dissolved properly. It will create problems for you. And yes, we use our hands here, and we actually encourage hand washing, which is the safest thing to do. So for you internet people who do not like cooks and people in the kitchen using their hands, I am sorry, right? So let's get this over with. Right, the double boiler plays an important role in that the heat helps to dissolve the sugar, making sure you don't have any gritty residue, and then it helps in the meringue itself. But the secondary thing also is that it brings it to a safe temperature, because in some recipes that you will see online, the instruction is just to set it over a double boiler until the sugar is dissolved. Unless you are making the full Swiss meringue buttercream, it is key that you keep an eye on the temperature. And of course, the temperature rises, the sugar dissolves anyway quickly before you get to the safe temperature. I use an infrared temperature thermometer here. Yeah. Oh, it's 160. The moment I lift it up, it goes down, but we have 158.5. It was showing 160 here, which is what you need. You need 160 to 165, 163. So I've got the temperature I need. You want to turn your fire off and immediately get this off, because if you leave it any longer, you will scramble your eggs. Because I will need the water, I'm going to just move this to the side, and I'm going to move my heat source from here. Paul says, I didn't know you were... 1 second. Okay, yeah, that's 2 pounds. Paul says, I didn't know you were African, and I had some chin. Where did you get chin chin from, Paul? Now I'm curious. Which shop did you go pottering around, or you went to a party? Because chin chin is a snack that is normally shared at a party, or a work colleague brought it in. Like, I want to know the source of your chin chin, Paul, because I'm looking at you. Okay, we've transferred that, and in some recipes you will find that the bowl is actually set on the water for it to cook. I don't do that, because when the bowl warms up, it takes a long time for the whipping to happen. I am adding cream of tartar. It's an acid that will help unstick the egg white protein and help the meringue to whip better, and it also stabilizes the meringue whilst also helping the meringue break out into a very clean white color. So that's the function of the cream of tartar. Yeah, I'm gonna just move the mixer in the shots a little bit. People, just know, like, believe me when I say, when the mixer starts whisking, it is very loud. It's going to be very difficult to speak to you. So I will leave you in the capable hands of Carrie, our friend from Canada, who might just moderate the chat whilst I'm probably tidying up, because the whisking is a bit loud, and this is going to be whisking between 12 to 15 minutes at 3 to 4 minute intervals each time, just to give the mixer a rest. But once all that is done, believe me, I will come and answer specific questions about Swiss Meringue Buttercream and the entire process, so that you can, if you're worried about making Swiss Meringue Buttercream, you can go and make Swiss Meringue Buttercream in your own time at home and not feel scared of it. Believe me, okay? But thank you for stopping by. Now, like I said, this is 12 to 15 minutes, and the whisking does two things. The whisking is to create the meringue, but secondarily, the whisking also helps to cool the meringue, because when we come to putting the butter in, we need the meringue to be cool, and I'll talk you through why all of that is important. If I leave it any longer, the eggs will cool down, and we don't need that. We need the eggs to whisk warm. So I'm just going to turn the mixer on, and the noise is going to start now, okay? Bear with me. Okay, it's not noisy. I hear what you're saying, but me in the kitchen, it's a bit noisy, so I feel like I'm screaming at you. It's yeah, Carrie is saying to do this, but I wouldn't encourage it. I wouldn't encourage making Swiss Meringue Buttercream by hand. It is a long, tedious process. It's like, why should you? Don't do it. Here is the only time I will ask you something politely, that whilst you are here, consider liking the video, and if you actually have had some value from the class today, join the community here, okay, by subscribing and stay interacting and engage with us, because that is the only way we grow over here. And yes, we are a fairly small channel, but 10,000 people nearly. God, that is amazing. So if you've made some time to stop by today, we are so grateful. I am so grateful to have you, and I hope that you have learned a thing. Okay, let's see. Let's try again. Okay, that was me. Something I didn't say specifically, we are trying to get this meringue to stiff peaks, right? Meringue goes through different changes. It goes from firm to, it starts from soft peaks to firm and then stiff. And at the stiff peak, I didn't take you through the entire process of the peaks, if you like, and that's because I was talking to you before I started whipping, and none of the prior peaks will matter anyway. But stiff peaks, you should be able to get your meringue to stay solid. But besides stiff peaks, one of the things we really, because this is not stiff, it has kind of turned and shaped. We want to be able to pull this and then it stays tall without the curve in it. That's at least the sign for stiff peaks. And at that stage, we can add the eggs. But for the time we are whipping it for, this takes, depending on what mixer you have, this goes between anything between 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the weather day as well. It is cold in England today. It's been raining. 10 minutes at 3 minutes intervals, you get to 9 and a bit and you're done. So the timing is really important, just to give you a gauge of what to expect. But otherwise, the equipment and the its efficiency also counts. Can you do this with a hand mixer? Sure you can, but a hand mixer will come with its own limitations. So I'm going to let this whip up, and then I'll wait and I'll talk to you some more, okay? The meringue has reached the peaks that I desire, okay, but my bowl is still hot. So here are a few things you can do. If your meringue reaches the peaks which is the stiff peaks, but your bowl is still warm, you can wrap the entire thing up in cling film or place a kitchen towel over it, leave it on the side for a couple of minutes for it to cool. Okay, and when I say cool, I mean cool to the touch. I'll tell you why in a minute, but you were here when I took my mic off. Let me fix the mic back and wash my hands, and I'll come and then talk to you about why that is important. Okay? Right. I'll leave the mic off for a minute, but I'll talk to you. Thank you, Paul. Now, let's talk about why you need the stand mixer. A stand mixer, like, let me move this out of the way a little bit. Right. A stand mixer, as a beginner, may not be accessible to you, and I will be the first person to tell you not to let your need for professional standard equipment to stop you from embarking on your baking dreams. I will, because when I started baking, I had a hand mixer that I borrowed from a work colleague. That hand mixer is still here many years later. That work colleague has left the workplace that I met her, and she's gone on to do something else. She's a midwife now, I know. And the hand mixer is still here, and I've been baking a little over 10 years now. Okay, and this is the first mixer someone lent me. I didn't even buy it myself, right? And this, is it a Russell Hobbs? No, it's not even a Russell Hobbs. It's one of these basic branded, is it Gino Di Campo? I mean, Gino is cancelled now, isn't it? So Gino is cancelled now, isn't it? So that tells you how long ago it was to be able to pick a Gino branded product. Okay, so it was a basic Gino Di Campo. I think at this point we could have picked Heston Blumenthal or something. Does it even matter? The point is, do not let your need for perfection or professional standard equipment stop you from pursuing your dreams. And this mixer here is testament to why you shouldn't, because I've told you my baking story, and if you're just meeting me for the first time, I'm going to tell you now my baking story. I don't have the classic story of my mom was baking in the kitchen and I was baking with my mom. That's a lie. Okay, that's not my story. Baking started for me because I was working with a client at the time. I worked in care services, like social care services, and I was providing home care for a client who depended on my care needs or for a daily living, and part of the activity involved having to cook their meals, and the meals extended to baking, but we didn't have equipment. Again, they wanted to bake and I had to support them, and we didn't have the equipment. So you know what we did? A bit of adventure, mix and match, and yeah, some days it was a mess, but I don't remember it being a mess, because from the get-go we approached it with such curiosity and such joy, and we were like, you know what, we're gonna try the thing, and if it doesn't work, what have we got to lose? So Google was our friend, and we thought, if you don't have a mixer, what do? We grabbed the butter, but instead of creaming the butter, we opted for melting the butter, and we went for recipes that were simple to put together. There are a ton of recipes that may never require you to use a hand mixer. There are types of muffin or loaf cakes and different types of things you can do without never ever touching one of these, okay? And if you are a home baker at home who just wants to focus on baking things for family and friends, you are focused on how good the outcome is and how it tastes and how it makes people feel. And quantity doesn't even matter, because unless you're baking for a big old entire extended family, how many family and friends do you have? Honestly, okay? So we're talking one small loaf pan and a cake. So don't let that stop you from pursuing your baking dreams. However, I say all that to say, when it comes to Swiss Meringue Buttercream, the whole argument falls apart. Because for Swiss Meringue Buttercream, you can pick one of these, okay? But here's the big but. You don't need a professional K-mix. This is not a professional stand. This is a sort of intermediate baker friendly mixer. I actually picked it up on a sale, and I have a comprehensive video on a K-mix. By the way, Kenwood is not sponsoring me. They don't even know I exist at this point, and I have deliberately stayed clear of trying to engage in any products of what do you call it, brand deals, because you know what, brand deals, we are cautious over here. We don't want anything that will bother us and take our voice away and limit our abilities here. Maybe that's not smart business, but hey, we are here. So I am telling you everything I'm telling you because I bought the product with my money, and I am telling you exactly my experience of it. In fact, when I bought my first K-Mix Kenwood, I gave it, I think, a year later, and I did a comprehensive tutorial on how to use it, my experience of it. I think it still ranks on Google, and it is one of my most watched comprehensive tutorials on a product, and the comment section goes to prove it. I will recommend this mixer any day, but I'll tell you, don't buy it full price. Wait for Black Friday, wait for the Easter holidays, wait for the Christmas sale, and pick it up, okay? You will get a huge discount. In the UK, you can pick this up. I think the first time I bought it for $1.99, and I thought, oh, that was a deal. Second time I got it for $1.80, okay? That was still a deal also. But I've also done a beginner-friendly type of mixer, which at the time, this is the Alkmaar. It cost £99, which is half of the price of this. Amazing. I've given it to my sister now, but the video is still on this channel, the tutorial. It's the Alkmaar mixer. I say that to say you can still pick up supermarket branded mixers that are still half the price. The Alkmaar has since gone up, and I think it's only about a 50 to 60 pounds less than a K-mix. And for me, for 60 pounds less, I'm just picking myself a K-mix. I'll wait. That's all. So I say that to say, when it comes to Swiss Meringue Buttercream, I'm sorry, you need a stand mixer. Don't use this. Because the science of using a hand mixer to mix and get the volume of your meringue is exhausting. Plus, a hand mixer is going to limit you in terms of quantity and volume and amount. Like, your yield is going to be, for all the effort, you might as well just get the thing. Plus, if you're just starting baking, Swiss Meringue Buttercream may just not be the thing you want to be messing with. Because if you haven't found my channel yet, you are struggling over there. Your meringue is turning soupy. It's curdling on you, and you don't know why. Because most of the recipes won't take time to kind of talk you through the intention behind the processes and the specificity of the ingredients. I hope I got that word right. It's a tongue roller, but I have taken time to talk you through every decision I have made up until this point. Something I know for sure that most of the information available online don't cover, except for one channel that I'll tell you, Sugarology, because she is a scientist and she brings the science of buttercream to light in a way that is like none other. But otherwise, if you haven't found this channel or that science-based channel or Claire Saffitz and a few other people, you're still struggling with Swiss Meringue Buttercream, and for that, you don't want to complicate your process by picking yourself a hand mixer. Now, if you think that is truth, hello, hit the like button and join the community here. We will teach you how to bake. That is all we do, okay? My business here is to teach you how to bake, and you don't have to pay for a class, okay? In fact, you should pay for a class, especially when you've started and you don't know what you've done it all. At some point, paying for the class puts you in front of knowledge that you will never know. And I will tell you, bakers are some of the most giving people. So yes, I'm not against the class, but I'm approaching this from the point of view of a time when I started baking and I couldn't afford the class. And I just wished that somebody was kind enough to show up and give me the information without me having to pay for it. That's all. With that said, it's Sugarology. It's, maybe I got the name wrong, but it's spelled sugar with an O following the R. OLOGIE. So it's Sugar Ologie. And the baker is Adrienne. Okay? Check her out. I see Paul loves lemon meringue. Lollipop is back. Lollipop, we have friends now. We have new friends. Lollipop, I didn't know I was showing up here. And yeah, you missed the good part. The little producer was behind the camera earlier. He found out very quickly that he was bored. And I found out it was distracting. For such a serious class, yep. Carrie, you got sugarology right. That's the spelling. If you want to learn to bake, go find her. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because she's a scientist and she brings the science home in a way that no one on the YouTube platform does. Okay? There are different people who do different things, but sugarology, she is the thing. That's all. Okay. That said, our meringue is cool now because we've talked the thing down. Okay, so let's go and mix this. And at this point, here's the part where things vary slightly. When you add the sugar and the butter is really not doesn't affect the outcome at all. Mostly at this point people add the butter, so I'm going to follow that and add the butter. I have spoken a ton about the consistency of butter for any buttercream. So I'm going to just talk quickly about the butter for the benefit of all of you who are here today, right? But the butter here is what will make or break your Swiss meringue, okay? One of the most common questions that I get about, or most, I think if you went on Google and sought the most asked questions, it's why is my buttercream, my Swiss meringue curdling, or why is it soupy, okay? These two questions are the bane of Swiss meringue buttercream. Why does it happen? It is set. Why it happens is because of the butter. A simple reason is that the butter consistency has to be right. And I'm not going to bore you with temperature and all of that. The butter is to be observed. You have to feel it, you have to see it, and know exactly what you're looking for. I tell you why. Because if I tell you, oh, make sure you're using room temperature butter. The standard room temperature is determined, I think, is it 18 to 22 degrees, I believe it is. Don't quote me, but somebody Google it, put it in the chat over here. So at 22 degrees C, that is room temperature, if you like. But what is room temperature if you're somewhere in my native Africa? Under a Ghanaian sun of 30 degrees a day with aluminium roofing and your house is scorching hot, your butter is melting. Okay, the end time for room temperature. That butter better sit in the fridge until you are just ready to use it. So sometimes the term room temperature, whilst it is well meant for instruction, it can be misplaced and be confusing. So this is the part where I say scrap room temperature and look at the butter you are trying to use. Now, look at this butter. It is slightly on the softer side. Think about spreadable peanut butter. It is soft. I am hardly pushing my hand into that. Now, this butter has literally melted, right? It's not melted as in broken, but it is too soft because as you can see, it is touching my finger. Look. Can you see what I'm saying? Now, when I pick the cube of butter that is under the top, look at it from this angle. I have to press into it slightly without force, but it's not falling apart like this. Now, this is the butter you need any day, whether the rain is it's coming down with rain and it's cold outside or it's warm. Do anything you can so your butter consistency is like this. The reason why I mention rain and the sun is because for your butter to stay like this, if you're on a sunny day of 28 degrees in the UK where the kitchen is hot, To get your batter like this, it probably has to stay in the fridge until you are just about to use it. And on a cold day like this today, look, this has been sitting out, I think, for the last 2 hours. That was before I went to shower and got myself looking like this to show up here, right? And it's been sat at room temperature for the last 2 hours. And we've been doing this tutorial for a little over, almost an hour? Whatever it looks like, we are nearly 3 hours in, and this batter has been sat out. Okay, and that's because today, I don't know what the weather is, but it is cooler than it normally is, especially because it's winter, autumn winter, if you like. My point is, if this was a summer's day, this batter won't be sat outside. It will be in the fridge. And at that point, it's like, how is it room temperature when it's in the fridge? So we are looking at the visual of the batter. Why does that matter? Okay, if your buttercream, as in your Swiss meringue buttercream, gets soupy, here's the simple answer. The structure of the batter is broken. So there's nothing to hold on, which is why it falls apart in the meringue and it gets soupy. So 2 things contribute to that. Your batter is too soft already, or your meringue is too warm. These are the 2 key factors to cause you a soupy buttercream. Now, if you have curdled buttercream that looks like cottage cheese that has broken, that is because your batter is too cold. And the reason is, what we are doing here is what you call an emulsion. It's a water to fat based emulsion. Where is the water coming from, Gladys? The water is coming from the egg whites. A portion of the egg whites contain lots of water, right? Now, water and fat don't normally mix. If you pour oil with water, you mix them, they don't mix together. They're not friends. They need a peacemaker to keep them together. And the peacemaker here is an emulsifier called casein that you find in the butter. It's a protein. And what emulsifiers do technically is, I'm no scientist, go find Adriana, she will break it down for you, but in a very simple childlike explanation, the emulsifier here as a bond has 2 ends, one that binds the water and one that holds the fat. So the emulsifier has an ability to hold the 2 things that don't mix together. And then you have obviously the agitation and the mixture and everything that lends to the process for your emulsion of butter and liquid to kind of hold together, if you know what I mean. So you need the butter consistency to just be right enough to activate the peacemaker to hold the stuff together. Now, if your butter is already broken, the casein is activated, but the structure is already broken, which is why you end up with soupy buttercream, right? But when it's curdled, it means the peacemaker is just gone AWOL. It has nothing to do it, and it's like, you're on your own. So you need... How did we get here? You need the butter consistency to be right. And you see, as I've taken the butter out and I'm playing with it more and more, it's melting. And one way you know your butter is melted is when you begin to see an oil-like film on your hand. So let's not waste too much time. Let's get on with this quickly so we can get our buttercream. Now, at this point, you want to add the butter a little bit at a time. So to summarize the point I am making here, make sure your meringue is whipped to stiff peaks. Make sure the meringue bowl with the meringue is cool to touch when you come to add the butter, and ensure that the consistency of your butter in terms of visual and feel is right. And what you need is a spreadable butter consistency. I did what you call the bread test. And the bread test is simply, if you picked a short board slice of bread, I mean, the way it's very soft and flimsy, if you spread the butter on it and the bread grain stays intact, that's the type of butter you need in terms of consistency. Because if the butter is too frozen, it will break the grain of the bread. And if it's too soft, it will literally go over the bread with and disappear. Like you will see like a clear film of butter on it. What you want to see is the butter spreading easily without much pressure. If it goes with just no pressure, it's melted. And if you have to force it and the grain breaks, it's too cold. You just have to get an even spread with the grain intact, and that you can see butter on it. That's all I can say about butter. Okay, I've already covered the subject of butter for Swiss Meringue buttercream in other videos. You want to also add the butter in a little bit at a time. Look, in the past I've dumped it in fine. That's because I've been doing this for a long time and I can get away with it. But I'm teaching you right. Add the butter a bit at a time, because then it gives the meringue time to embrace the butter so that everything doesn't collapse on you. That's all. So after all that, let's see whether my buttercream will curdle or it will turn soupy. Let's see. This is the real test right here. The speed I am mixing this is 4.5. Carrie, thank you. I sincerely appreciate the compliment. Darling, I don't know where Carpenter is. I have been too distracted this week, but I promise I'm going to find her. I sent you her email, did I? Maybe let's drop her an email, Lollipop. I have been awful. I've been so distracted this week. I mean, you noticed I have hardly been here. I've been so distracted. Right? Before we go on, I haven't had specifically curdled buttercream, but the process of the buttercream, the butter mixing will look like this. It looks like, oh, it's broken. No, it's not. Give it time. Just keep mixing. But I wanted to show you what this looks like. And this is what it looks like. When it looks like this, you're still onto something. So let's go. Right, Lollipop, what I'll pass it to you, okay? I will. Is it yours I passed to her and she was meant to contact you? Is it? I will just email her then. Now, let's talk about the curdling, right? It looks like it's curdling, and it's important to show you what it looks like. This is an integral part of the process. When you see this, it's fine. But as you can see, it's got texture. It looks like milk that is separating. This is an integral part of the process, okay? So don't panic when your buttercream looks like this. No, don't panic. You are in good company. Okay, there you go. Now let's go and right, it is coming together. Can you see? You don't, because I'm looking at it from here. It is coming together. As you can see, You've literally watched it come together. At this point, some people will switch to a paddle attachment to kind of finish the creaming. What I am going to do now is add the sugar. It's 100 grams of icing sugar, and I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl in. Okay, now that's where you can just swap to a paddle attachment to do the rest of the mixing. And at this point, you can add a pinch of salt. Salt in your buttercream enhances complexity and taste for you. And that's it. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to bring balance, enhance the taste for me. Not much. And actually, for the amount of butter that was used in this buttercream, you can swap half of it to salted butter, so you don't have to add salt. I decided to add salt because the amounts that manufacturers add to salt varies, and sometimes you can lose control of the salt and it can get really salty. So I was trying to avoid that. Cornstarch makes no difference. I've done it for so long, I don't know what role cornstarch will play. I guess for absorbing moisture, but I guess if we're thinking about the science of it, there must be a reason why, but I've never known cornstarch to be added in any way for any reason. But if you know, let me understand why. Agatha. Right, are there questions in the chat? Can you add a bit of... No, let's correct that. The icing sugar is nothing to do with grainy at all. This buttercream in any form doesn't yield grainy at all. The icing sugar is added for bulk because this type of buttercream, depending on the ratio of butter to egg white, does yield a very... If you're used to American buttercream, okay, and you try any of Swiss or Italian meringue buttercream, it does tend to have a very creamy yet buttery mouthfeel. So one thing here, the quality of butter matters. Make sure you are using a butter with a fat ratio of about 80% or more, up to 82%. Waitrose have some brands over there that has like good quality, great tasting butter, because that will enhance mouthfeel for you if you like. These are the sort of times that I really get precious about what ingredients you are using, because nobody out here wants to eat cake with... If you're going through the effort, I mean, just do it, will you? So the icing sugar brings balance. I spoke about it earlier before we started. Most Swiss meringue buttercreams will not encourage the use of sugar, and that is because the option for Swiss meringue buttercream is to avoid the overly sweetness. But 100 grams of icing sugar in here, in terms of mouthfeel, doesn't yield overly tasty at all, as in it doesn't yield overly sweet. But what it does is it balances the buttery mouthfeel and kind of like settles the mouthfeel from the over butteriness to a very settled and smoother outcome for you, if you like. So it's more for taste enhancement than it is for texture or anything. Nothing about Swiss Meringue buttercream is grainy. Plus, because of the amount of liquids that have transformed here, the icing sugar amount is so small that it literally absorbs into the buttercream. It doesn't yield or present like American buttercream at all. It's actually a very smooth, fine tasting buttercream. Think about it like whipped cream, but with a bit of oomph and some body to it. That's what Swiss Meringue buttercream tastes like. Like, it's really your good double cream that is whipped up, but has more fat and a filling mouthfeel, which is heavier than just whipped cream that just disappears on your tongue when you eat it. That's all. Oh, sorry. So I was answering a completely different question then. Okay, so Bob was asking if using caster sugar. So I said, oh, okay, right. Bob, let me make it easy for you. Caster sugar, the use of caster sugar here is unnecessary unless you are making your buttercream via the faux method. There is something called faux Swiss Meringue buttercream, where instead of raw egg whites cooked over a double boiler, people choose pasteurized eggs, which is already produced to rid of the bacteria because it has been slow cooked to almost like extend the shelf life of the egg white. If you are using that and you really don't want to cook the eggs over a double boiler, then employ caster sugar, put the egg whites in a microwave and let the sugar dissolve. The markers for checking for how the sugar dissolves and everything on a double boiler doesn't really matter for when you are using pasteurized eggs. But when you're using raw eggs on the double boiler, caster sugar really is like, in terms of value and cost, it's unnecessary. Because first of all, when you use granulated sugar, which has larger sugar particles compared to caster sugar, I get why. Because then when you use caster sugar, it dissolves quickly and all of that. Here's the tip. Most recipes online will not give you the entire information surrounding why you should cook your eggs on the double boiler. It is not just for dissolving the sugar. It is specifically to cook the sugar to it's specifically to cook the egg whites to a safe temperature of 71 degrees C, the equivalent being 160 to 65 degree F. At that point, the raw eggs are then pasteurized and are rid of foodborne bacteria, which makes them safe for the meringue making process. Anything short, you are exposing your client or anyone who is eating the buttercream to some form of bacteria. So at 160 degree F, the sugar would have melted a long time ago and it wouldn't matter whether you're using caster sugar. Does that make sense? But for most recipes, you will see it's like, oh, put the sugar and the egg whites over a double boiler for it to dissolve, and then they move on. The real reason for dissolving the sugar, cooking the eggs, is not so much to dissolve the sugar alone. It is specifically to get the eggs to a safe temperature. And that is really important when you're using raw eggs. So, in summary, if you're using raw eggs, go for granulated sugar. It's cheaper. For the effort, please feel free. But if you didn't want to mess with raw eggs and you chose the option of pasteurized eggs, feel free to use caster sugar so it dissolves quickly, because then you're not worried about safety anymore. Correct? Okay, now that we changed the paddles, the paddle attachment, let's have a look at what it looks like here. Look, buttercream is so much better than whipped cream. You're telling me? First of all, whipped cream will not hold. Okay, you have to do stuff to it before it will hold it. For the trouble and the bother, nah. Let's just make buttercream. And this flavors very well too. It holds on to flavors very well. So that's the Swiss Meringue buttercream done. At this point, you can, depending on what you want to use it for, you can beat it till it's increased in volume and it's light, like super light, but be wary. But you may end up overbeating it and then you'll break the structure. But otherwise, it's fine to use. But because I used the whisk attachment throughout the process, if you're going to use this for piping, this is the time where you want to turn your mixer down to a slow temperature and leave it to kind of cream and even out the air pockets that may cause you air bubbles when you're using this to cover a cake or for piping. This week has been a week of so many buttercreams. We made French, is it yesterday we made the French buttercream? Here's French buttercream. I left it on the countertop. And there we have it. So there, that's French buttercream. This was made with egg yolks and whole eggs. I'll talk you through that in a little bit. And we made some vegan chocolate buttercream too. All those videos are up on the channel. Go check them out, okay? Vegan buttercream. Hello. You're welcome. Oh, okay. Paul Smith. You used to make buttercream in cooking school. Oh my goodness. How long ago was that, darling? Now that's us being nosy, isn't it? Oh yeah. You know what? I try not to make buttercream cakes because I get scared of stability. But otherwise, yes. This will hold in Paul is saying he used to make buttercream. He didn't know about this kind. You know what? Times have changed, and haven't we all evolved in a way that is so amazing, right? Because when I started making buttercream, I found American buttercream too sweet. I found it too sweet. I'm like, can we just find something else? And boy, was I not happy when I landed on Swiss Meringue buttercream. Let's have a look at what this guy looks like. I'm almost done here. Right. So who wouldn't like this? Tell me. Who wouldn't like a bit of that? And you know what? This colors well, takes in flavor very well. Like Swiss Meringue buttercream is the thing, okay? If you haven't made Swiss Meringue buttercream before and you have a stand mixer, please go try it. Come back and tell me about it, especially this recipe. I'll put the details in the description box when I come to optimizing it. Let me wash my hands. Right, now I'm going to answer some of the popularly asked questions about Swiss Meringue Buttercream. But before I do that, let me just fix this thing and look at this boy quickly. Okay, please, people, bear with me. Producer, are you okay, sir?
Yeah.
Are you being good?
Yeah.
You really left me. You were supposed to be producing the show and you disappeared.
Well, you never. I asked you, tell me when you want me to come back, and you never did.
It's okay, it's okay. You did fine. It's not your fault. I love you still. Okay?
Have you finished the line?
No, I haven't. I'm just putting on a mic. Okay, let's see where we are. And let's go pop this mic in. And let's have this mic. Okay. 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 The mic is back on. Okay, people, the mic is back on. There you go. Right. Thank you for your patience with me. What's happening in the chat? Bobby? Bobby, what's happened to you over there? Bobby, are you okay? Because we will politely ask you to be respectful of the space. Okay? You're welcome to stick around. But Bobby, you are very depressed. Oh, poor Bobby. Bobby, right. Bobby, can I have a chat with you and say, I am so sorry that you feel depressed. Okay? Bobby, I don't want to talk at you. Here's a genuine question out of curiosity. If you say you feel depressed, how bad is depressed? Because depression exists on a spectrum. Do you feel like today is just like a bad day and you want to just let off some steam? Or it's like, I need help depressed? You live under a bridge and you're becoming a troll. Bobby.
Yeah.
No. Sir, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Bobby here. Bobby, unless the fact that you said you were depressed, I am assuming the position that you were talking very serious, and I don't want to dismiss you. But if you are playing and probably trying to use that just to be a disruption, I'll say goodbye to you. Because either way, you either need help and we can support that, and you can actually be accepting of that. We don't have a problem, okay? But there are people who are genuinely depressed, and if you're one of those, the only help we can offer you, and we hope you can be open to that, It's accepting that we can hold space for you here so that you can calm down and be less distracted. But if you are not going to accept that, we cannot be party to the disruption and misery of your situation. Is that clear? So I don't want to dismiss you, but I'm giving you a chance to not be a troll whilst weaponizing depression as your reason. It's a boundary that is important because we are all going through something, but we're not going around disrupting other people's lives. Am I clear on this, Bobby? So, Bobby, I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to say it again. Are you depressed? You need help, or you're being a troll? Okay, you don't need help. Fantastic. So if you don't need help, can you not be a troll? Because now that we have clarity, okay, we are clear. Bobby is not depressed. Bobby just wants to be disruptive. Can you not be a troll? Because if you're a troll, I'll block you. And I'm not playing. Okay, goodbye, Bobby. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, people? Look, when you came in, I told you, we hold space over here. We are friends. We're a community. So you see how I handled Bobby? Bobby wants to be a troll. Bobby is gone. Don't be like Bobby. Be like Jack. Be like Carrie. And be like Paul. Okay? That's all. I told you. Okay? Because Bobby says he doesn't. I asked Bobby, do you need help? He's like, no, I want to be a troll. Well, you can't be trolling us here. Sorry. Let's continue. Okay? Right. So, Swiss Meringue Buttercream. If you've never made Swiss Meringue Buttercream, let's get this out of the way. Right. Sometimes the stuff we deal with online can be crazy, okay? But you know what? I don't approach the internet from a place of like fear. Well, I see it from a place of fear so that it will inform the decisions I make about safety, okay? But I don't approach anyone who shows up on the internet as I give you a chance. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. I'll give you a chance because you never know. I think when I started the channel myself, there are things I didn't realize and I've come to know. One of which I have spoken over here before, and I've spoken openly about it, that I have people in my life. Like when I have a problem, I have people I can go sit with and talk to and feel heard and feel seen. I have such an incredible group of people. Even if it's one person, I do. So I never find the need to bring my everyday life to the internet, okay? I don't find the need. Maybe one day in the future, my life's challenges might be an opportunity for teachable moment. And for that, I may be able to open up about some incredibly challenging things I have had in my life. And if I told you, you'd be like, huh? Right? The truth is, I don't exist as a hermit. I'm privileged to have people in my life, but not just people. I have my faith with me, and I've come through so much in life. I'd like to think that I have my head in the right place and supported by the right mechanisms. I don't have a need to come and vomit my life and my daily challenges on the internet, which is an incredible privilege and a blessing to have. I didn't have the point of view that not everybody has that. Not everybody. And so the internet, as awful and dark as it can be, people seek safety from the internet. It's mind-boggling for me because it's such a pit of darkness sometimes with all these awful things. I'm like, why would anyone risk it? But I also understand that when you have nothing else and you are desperate and you can find community in such an unknown place, that can be your place to exist too. And so for that, when this community started growing, I had to kind of almost adjust my point of view in terms of what I bring and what exists in this space. And I have, as a community, we have been incredibly blessed to have so much happening. Like we've had Tapita come to tell us about her neighbors passing to job losses. Lollipop's grandpa passed away sometime earlier in the year, and when she was driving to go, she told us. We held some thoughts and prayers for her over here. I have come to share some basic things about challenges in my life and some confusions over here. And all of us, Tatiana, our good friend who runs a company, when she's having a bad day, she says she comes here to just relax. So I don't take it for granted if someone is having a really challenging day and they find our channel. When Paul showed up, Paul is like, oh, no man bashing, no preaching, no politics. Paul, really? Okay. But I can see Paul is found peace. Paul, how you doing? Okay. So I don't take it for granted when people show up and are engaging and supportive, even if for a brief moment. Like we had a very challenging time sometime was it last year or earlier this year? When a young, I think 9-year-old showed up and they said they'd lost their mom and they were having some issues at home. It was such a heartbreaking thing to deal with at the time. But once we found out the facts of the matter, which is that they could be very, very young and shouldn't be on the internet being safe, we said goodbye to them. It was heartbreaking. As a mom, I was in tears about it. But I also had to stand by the decision to not engage a 9-year-old on my platform, especially when they felt very desperate and very unsafe. Because the fact that they were willing to tell us what their vulnerabilities were, it just broke my heart in that moment. And all I wanted to do was hug this young child and give him just some reassurance because their mom had passed. But I also realized I couldn't police the internet. I don't know this person. Are they 9? And if they are, I couldn't win. Either way, go on then, quick. Either way, I couldn't win. There was no way I was going to engage a 9-year-old because YouTube doesn't have a policy where I can forward the 9-year-old's detail and say, YouTube, handle this, because there's a 9-year-old out here talking openly about how vulnerable they are. Okay? But just because they feel vulnerable and because they're trusting the group, we don't know who is listening and who is in the chat. Okay, we don't know. You have to assume that people are not who they say they are. So I couldn't engage this 9-year-old and keep them entertained on my channel because I was exposing them or enabling them to the same risk. So we had a conversation where I said, girl, my heart is broken for you. I am incredibly broken and saddened by your situation. One thing I cannot do though is that just because mom passed and you are struggling doesn't mean you should be accepted at a party for grown people. Okay? And that was the principle that informed my choice to kind of bid them goodbye. Okay? Because I'm like, if we were at a party physically in person, then some grown person needs to pull this kid up and give him a hug and drive him home and have a chat with dad. And be like, Daddy, did you know your kid is out here going to adult parties and crying that their mom has passed and they miss their mom? But this is the internet. I cannot engage a 9-year-old, especially when they look vulnerable. So I'm sorry, I'm going to be goodbye. That was very unpopular. I got an email from a very popular person who used to exist on this space with us about what a hypocrite I was and why I was policing a... And I was like, you are not going to challenge my decision. That's all. now let's get to Swiss Meringue buttercreams and the popularly asked questions about Swiss Meringue buttercream. If it's your first time hearing the word Swiss Meringue buttercream and you're wondering what Swiss Meringue buttercream is, it's a European style buttercream that is derived from a meringue base with butter added and a few other ingredients which has been listed through the process. You have egg whites, you have sugar, you have cream of tartar, and then you have butter. Icing, sugar, and salt are the optional ingredients depending on what recipe you are using. Its nearest equivalent or cousin is Italian meringue buttercream. That is super technical to make, but Swiss meringue buttercream is fairly easy to derive. I have said before, as easy as it is, it requires a very meticulous process that has to be followed through and through, and any corners you cut with that will catch up with you and the outcome of it. So that is Swiss meringue buttercream. If you have never heard of it and this is your first time, you are hearing about Swiss meringue buttercream. Now, if you're very concerned about the safety of the eggs, as in raw eggs, are they safe in a buttercream base? Of course it is, and that is because the cooking of the raw eggs over a double boiler brings it to a safe cooking temperature of 160 to 165 degree F, equivalent to 70 degrees C, which rates of the foodborne bacteria. So Swiss meringue buttercream, when you're using raw eggs, as long as you follow the processes and derive the temperature right, please, it is safe. One of the reasons why I really don't like Italian buttercream I have spoken about is because Italian buttercream is similar to Swiss, except the meringue is derived and then you have sugar, hot sugar syrup that is boiled to a hard boil, a soft boil stage, drizzled into the meringue. And I'm not completely convinced about that process being completely safe. So the idea of raw eggs in there kind of terrifies me, which is why I prefer Swiss meringue buttercream. But if you want to make Swiss meringue buttercream, pick yourself a candy thermometer or a sort of thermometer of some sort. You saw us get a reading of up to 163 degree F here, which was before we transferred the mixture into the mixer to whip. So the simple answer is yes, it is safe. Why does it curdle or turn soupy? I have answered that question in the demonstration, which I specifically said the curdled means the butter is too cold, which hasn't activated and can't mix into the meringue. And when it is soupy, the butter has broken. So get your butter consistency just right and you will avoid such problems. The issue with the butter curdling or turning soupy is one that can keep you in a loop of back and forth. How do you solve the curdled and the soupy? If it is soupy, put your whole meringue from the bowl in somewhere cool, in a fridge to cool. Now, you are better off avoiding that problem to start with altogether. The simple reason is if you don't understand the science of the curdling and the soupy nature of the problem that is arising because of the butter, you are going to chill it too much, okay? When it turns soupy, you chill it too much and then it gets really curdled, and then you try to warm it up, you break it up, and then you're stuck in a loop of one thing and another. You are better off avoiding the problem. But soupy means your butter is broken, chill it, and then whip it again. If it turns curdled, warm it, and then whip it. The curdled means your butter is too cold. So warming the bowl up will break things up a bit. How do you warm it? You can turn the bowl under a running tap of hot water to warm the bowl and raise the temperature a little bit. it's a hit and miss, because if you're not careful, you might get water into your buttercream. Don't do that, but it's a general thing you cannot do. The next best thing is get yourself a saucepan of warm water. I'm not talking lukewarm, and I'm not talking scalding boiling water. Somewhere in between. Sit your bowl just over it a little bit and then mix it together. When you see the sides melting down, take it back, set it on your mixer and whip it. Another thing you can also do is, if it's too curdled, get a bit of the buttercream into a bowl, microwave it and pour it back into your, just a little bit. Because if you take too much and you melt it, put it back, it will all collapse and you've gone back to soupy looking buttercream. It's hard to fix. The simple thing is, get your batter right and don't have those problems. But when you do, I am sure I have demonstrated enough how to not have issues with it. So think about it this way. Curdled, fix by warming. Soupy, fix by cooling. That's it. Okay? That's the thing with Swiss Meringue buttercream and how to fix it. Next thing, is it a stable buttercream enough? Sure it is, but it is stable up until maybe 24 degrees C. That is a little above room temperature, because butter has a melting point. Okay, so it is stable, but in warm temperatures past 24 degrees C, it might begin to give away, but it is fairly stable at room temperature. Now, is it stable enough to be used under fondant? Of course you can. But if you've been here, me, I don't do buttercream cakes. I'll avoid that thing. I'm a ganache girl. And anyway, this week has been a little detour away from our lovely ganache subject, because have you been on the channel lately? We are doing ganache. Or in every form, okay? How to make it, how to optimize it, how to cover a cake with it. Like, the channel is ganached up. Go check those out. Now, can Swiss Meringue buttercream be colored? Oh, hell yes. Yes, you can color it in so many ways. Your best type of color though is gel color, gel food color, say it with me, or oil based. Any liquid with water, it won't take, because this is fat. So you need oil-based. Some of my happy and recommended brands, you're looking at Color Mill to start with, Pro Gel, or Sugar Flare, the paste gel colors. Amazing options for you. And it colors very well. It goes from light to very dark colors. Great. It also absorbs flavor very well. Oh, Swiss Meringue buttercream. You didn't see me add vanilla, and that's because the vanilla is in the other fridge over there. But you can add any type of flavoring and it will absorb it very well because of the amount of fat we have here. Okay? Can Swiss Meringue buttercream be used in piping? Yes! That is, yes. Okay, you can pipe it. But a tip for piping, because of the whisking, the use of the whisk, you develop air pockets that may interfere with your piping, like the consistent piping result. So please, please, please switch to a paddle attachment. Leave it on slow for 5 to 10 minutes on slow. If you go for 10 minutes, break it up to 3-minute intervals, just so that your mixer head can get some rest, so you don't break your mixer at it. But the answer is a big yes. It can pipe and it holds form very well. It pipes fine details too very well. I use it all the time. If you've been on the channel before, you'll see. Go check it out, okay? Why does Swiss Meringue buttercream taste like butter? Why does it taste like butter? Because the base fat is butter. Okay, it's butter mixed with essentially water, which is the egg whites. Okay, so it has a buttery mouthfeel. But is the buttery mouthfeel off-putting? No. But it is a factor of Swiss Meringue buttercream that is important for one to know, just so that if you're used to American buttercream that is sweet, that has texture, can be grainy, and it's heavy, and you just embrace sugar, and it's like sugar rush everywhere, you might just get the shock of your life. And this is the time I will tell you, once upon a time, I put Swiss Meringue Buttercream on a 70-year-old's cupcakes, and I had an unhappy Sunday in my business raising complaints. Even the birds didn't want the buttercream and the chocolate. Lollipop, tell them, okay? So the battery mouthfeel is important if you are comparing the mouthfeel to American buttercream, so that if you don't have any concept of Swiss Meringue Buttercream, the batteriness might just be a shock to you, but that shouldn't be off-putting. Now, there are a few ways you can address the battery mouthfeel nature. Whip your buttercream a little longer. Whip it a little, give it time, and let it whip so that it breaks up a little bit. Like I did here, I added some icing sugar to kind of balance things out. And you can also raise the flavoring option. So don't be lazy with your vanilla. I mean, vanilla is to cake like sweet chili is to my crispy chicken. Please pour the thing. Kidding, okay? Raise your, so tips to help with the battery mouthfeel. Whip your buttercream a lot more to kind of incorporate air and make it light tasting. If you just whip it right here, the butter still is heavy. It would just feel like a clump of butter in your mouth. That is not great for anybody, and I don't even recommend it. But whip it longer, add more flavoring, and add some icing sugar to kind of balance things out. The amount of icing sugar to use should be proportional to the ingredients. So for this recipe, at the ingredients amount, you're looking at anything between 60 to 100. 60 would just be right there to still keep things sweet but not too sweet. 80 to 100, you have just enough sweetness that is not overwhelming but not lower. Anything more is just going to yield you a sweet tasting buttercream, which is not bad if you prefer sweetness to your buttercream. But the whole thing of Swiss Meringue Buttercream is to yield yourself a creamy tasting, rich, luxurious buttercream that is not overly sweet. Okay, so Tatiana, we mentioned you today, darling. We mentioned you today. I was thinking about you because Thanksgiving is coming up on the 21st and we still have your cheesecake. I promise I have your cheesecake ingredients, okay? I went and bought mascarpone. I bought some cream cheese. I have it. I just haven't made the time. I think we might approach that tomorrow. How is that? Let me not promise, but let's approach that cheesecake tomorrow or Monday. What do you think? How are you though? Great to have you. It's great to see you because we literally mentioned you. Like we were having a conversation. And I'm like, oh, we have Tatiana, our friend. It just occurred to me. We haven't seen Tapeta all week, and I have been a disappearing act all week anyway. Well, I did show up, but it was inconsistent. Only Lollipop knows. But it's great to have you. I'm sending you hugs. How are you? How is the hubby? And how is life and work? Keep us posted. Anyway, we derived some Swiss Meringue Buttercream, and I'm answering some specific questions about Swiss Meringue Buttercream. So we have talked about the battery mouth feel. How do you store Swiss Meringue Buttercream? Does it store well? What should you look out for? And how do you optimize it and reformulate it for use? Let me answer that question very simply for you. Swiss Meringue Buttercream will stay at room temperature between 6 to 8 hours at room temperature, supposing the weather is not rising. It will refrigerate for weeks, okay? And it will save for months. Standard 3 months. I normally don't cap the freezing because you can freeze things, and as long as you meet the freezing conditions and make sure everything is prepped well, people freeze cakes for a year, okay? I'm not recommending that, and I definitely don't freeze any buttercream for a year for client use, let's be clear. But I'm just giving you advice on storing buttercream for your best outcome. It can store up to 3 months, and that's the 3 months is not capped for expiration or anything. It's a quality tasting thing, which is that for most things, when you freeze them and it over freezes and you have freezer burns and influencing factors, then you just want to make sure that you cut the freezing time short. But if you, for some reason, if you want to freeze your buttercream for a year, you're good. You do you. But that said, I say the quality of freezing is as good as the environment that the freezing is done. So I don't care if you want to freeze it for a year. As long as you do not have your sweet chili chicken over there and your curries over there and the stuff that will impact on flavor and mouthfeel, then you're good. So for instance, if you're like me, who has like a whole fridge, 1 second. Sir, are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just dropped something.
Okay, pick it up. If you're like me, who has a whole fridge dedicated to baking and doing stuff, and you want to freeze stuff in there exclusively, and all the items are like aligned, then that's fine. But I will not be saving my buttercream in the freezer where I have my palm nut soup. Okay, so that's I know there's a chat happening there. I will talk to you guys in a minute. I want to run through these questions and answer them quickly and then clip it so that like whoever misses out on the live can come back and be like, okay, this is what you did, and I can catch up on the 10 questions or whatever they are, because then it will help. Because I've already covered Swiss Meringue buttercream. So the whole point is to just kind of summarize the points on the frequently asked questions about Swiss Meringue buttercream. So storage. Store at room temperature 6 to 8 hours, okay, at room temperature. But refrigerate for weeks. Freeze for months, okay? But freeze in good freezing environment. Avoid strong smelling food substances and clashes with anything that will impact on mouthfeel and taste. Now, how do you reformulate and optimize it back to the best temperature or consistency for use? Freeze your buttercream at best. Wrap it in portions, small portions, depending on how much you want to use. Wrap them in small portion in plastic bags. The plastic bag options ranges from your Ziploc freezer bags to tie knot bags, whatever, in small quantities, and then rewrap them. Put them in a airtight bowl, seal it, and put it in a fridge. That will prevent freezer burn and exposure in the freezer, and it will save. And the same conditions apply. Avoid strong smelling substances or anything that is likely to impact on taste. Now, when you are ready to use your buttercream, the part where I said put them in small portions, the reason is you may not want to formulate the entire quantity. That is if you want to, fine, but having them in small portions gives you a lot of control. So whatever the quantity you need, bring the amount back to room temperature. Best thing to do. Bring it out, leave it on a countertop 6 to 8 hours, and it will thaw nicely, and all you have to do is cream it with a paddle attachment and it goes back. Now, because it is chilled, there is a small likelihood that if you don't know what you're doing, you'll end up with a broken curdled buttercream option. The simple thing you can do then is just melt a little portion. We're talking, for the quantity we have here, you're looking at maybe 3 tablespoonfuls. Break it up in the microwave, let it like melt all together. Pour it in the cold mixture and then re-whip it, and then it goes back. But I think I will have to come and demonstrate that specific part for you, because if you don't get the detail right, you might just end up with buttercream that you may not want to use. But your best option for reformulating is thaw at room temperature, whip, ready to use. That's all. Now, can you make Swiss meringue buttercream less sweet without the additional icing sugar and looking at the component ratios of ingredient, that is egg white to sugar, which is normally somewhere between 1 to 1? There's nothing you can do to make it any less sweet. If you tamper with the sugar by trying to reduce it anymore, the meringue quality might be affected, which will affect your yield, which means your buttercream will appear looser than you need, because the intention is still to get a stable, firm holding buttercream for covering your cakes. So tampering with the sugar against the other proportions of ingredients might be problematic. So if you're looking for a less than sweet buttercream, especially when we're looking at Swiss meringue buttercream, it is inherently not too sweet. But look closely at the ingredient composition. Like for instance, my egg whites here were 270, which is 90 grams per every 100 grams of sugar. It is close to a 1-to-1 ratio, which is 300 grams of sugar to 270 grams of egg whites. It works out every 90 grams of egg whites is 100 grams of sugar. Does that make sense? Break what I'm saying up into 3. And then the butter almost works out the same quantity, because there's 560 grams of butter, which is, I think, for every 90 grams of egg white, there's 180 grams of butter. So it's a 1-to-1 and then 2. I know I'm confusing you right now, but what I'm saying is we've talked about ratio and proportions here, which is the relationship between amounts, and that principle matters in the science of baking. You have to understand the components, ingredients, and how their quantities relate to each other. We discussed that in ganache ratios. I don't want to confuse you. So think about 90 grams of egg white to 100 grams of icing sugar, 100 grams of granulated sugar, and then 180 grams of butter. Because the 560 grams of icing sugar of butter, if you break it up to 3, I think we're looking at 560 or 590 ish somewhere. So it's a ratio of 1-to-1 to 2, which is just standard ratios, enough to yield you a very balanced tasting buttercream that is not overly buttery, but it's not too sweet either. Does that make sense? So by answering the question, can you make it any less sweet? It depends on the ingredient ratios and the amount of sugar. That's important. I think those are generally the questions that needs to be answered. If I think about it, we're looking at I've answered about 8 to 10 questions, like the frequently asked questions. Have you got any other questions you want to ask that I haven't answered? If you do, let me know. How long do you leave your buttercream out at 20 degrees? 20 degrees is somewhere between room temperature, because room temperature is anything between 18 to 22 degrees. So 20 degrees is room temperature. So I will give you a run-the-mill like marker here. You're looking at anything between 5 to 8 hours. Okay, 5 to 8 hours it will sustain, but at the 5 hour 6, 7, 8 mark, it will begin to look a little less tight, but not broken. Anything over 24 degrees and you are over, because at 24 degrees it's extended room temperature and it's getting warmer, and the melting point of butter is 90 degree F. What's the equivalent in C? If we know, because the butter will hold up until its natural melting point. At its melting point, there's nothing that could save it, unless you have some enhancing ingredients that will help the butter not just fall flat. Which is why for instance, one of the most stable buttercream that is less talked about is Ermine buttercream, because of the relationship between the butter and the flour. But I'm not going to get into that today. That's just a long conversation to have. Okay, so yes, Carrie Lee was kind of fixing the mass. So the relationship between the butter and the egg white is a 3-to-1 ratio, right? As in 3 parts, or for every 3 parts of butter, there's 1 part of sugar over there. So it kind of makes sense. But I was just breaking it up as in 1:1 to, is it 2 or 3, something like that. But I guess, you know what, I've always said, only baking made me think about maths. But I didn't do bad in maths, but I don't pretend I know maths. I will just send you to Adriana, okay, on sugarology, to go learn the science and the maths and leave me be. But I'm happy you understand the point I'm making. So next time you go to make Swiss Meringue buttercream, maybe you should look at this frequently asked questions, check this video out, and then go start making your buttercream. Don't forget that you have to adhere to the entire process. Make sure you are organized. But I've also covered what you need to do, which is similar in a way to how you make Italian buttercream. And I have a video on that. I'll click that and put that in the description box of this video. So go check that too. But on that note, we are done with Swiss Meringue buttercream. Let me come talk to you, my people. Okay? I didn't think I was going to be here for this long, but hey, it's great to have you. I feel happy today. The week has been long. I've been like bish bash bong a little bit. Okay, people? Just saying, my life has been a bit. My life has been, but today I was like, no bish bash bonging is happening. I am going to try and put my best self out here, and yeah, it's great to have you. Now let me see what my sister Tatiana was saying. Oh, Jackie is back. Okay, I am glad I'm done with class, because at least I can talk to you, okay? Because the last few times I have been busy just yapping into open space. Jackie, sending you hugs. How are you, my lovely? How is your week been? How is everybody? Let's go see Tatiana. Tatiana, how are you? Okay, let's see. I saw Tatiana's AC broke. Okay. It got a little hot. Hubby's at work. It's good, and at work. Work is always work, but at the end of the day, it is good and God is in control. Shall we be reminded of that simple fact? That grace will be enough even in the midst of the storm, okay? And if the storm is an AC broken lock, sis, that's a first world problem. I know it doesn't feel that way, especially if you're used to an AC. Can you imagine some days when you wake up and you're throwing a tantrum because your car tire is punctured? There is a pregnant woman in my native Ghana who is walking 10 miles to hospital. Look, I am not comparing, okay? I'm just making a point that sometimes when you wake up, you have to just count your blessing, because there is even blessings in the storm. That's all. So I hope it's all good, darling. Tatiana says, girl, it's 83 outside, so it's spicy in our place right now. Shall I state the obvious? It's hotter in them ice containment places. Okay, it's hotter. I know it's not supposed to be a funny subject, but you cannot convince me you are hot, okay? No, I am literally just taking the pee out of you. I understand. You know what? Feeling hot, like you want to catch me on a day when I feel hot. You don't want to know me, believe me. I am like, I'm like a devil on speed when I wake up hot and bothered and sweaty, okay? So I would know. You know what? And when you are hot and bothered and sweaty, you don't look like this. Okay? When you are hot, bothered, and sweaty, because you know what? This slap will be dripping and your skin will be just wanting to fly through the entire thing. Please. When you're here in the summer, our little 28 degrees C over here in the UK, and I was literally about to get naked over here, right, for you all to see. You saw, I was even wearing t-shirts that weren't even mine. Okay. Okay. I was wearing t-shirts that wasn't even mine. I picked the big producer's t-shirt and I showed up with my shorts, and half of the time I was adjusting the thing. Sis, the place was hot, okay? And that was 23 degrees, okay? So please, I am literally telling you, Tatiana, I am just trying to kind of see the lighter side so that you can keep your spirits up. And I hope an AC repair person will be out. Unfortunately, if you know, oh, Carrie is going to have a shower. Oh, just right on time when Tatiana is hot and bothered. Rub it in. Tatiana, that's your cue to get off them spicy socks and go have a shower. Carrie is our new friend who has joined us today. She's been absolutely helpful. Obviously, most of you didn't know I was going to be here today. So when we started, Carrie was the person keeping the chats going. She's from Ontario, Canada. And thank you, Carrie, for the love and support here today. We hope we have you back and you stay and become a part of the community. It's been a pleasure having you, and we hope you have a great time and keep looking after yourself and stay well. Be blessed, darling. Take care. And Tatiana, you already did, and you're already sweaty and hot. Is the AC person coming? Let's fix that, because you know what? In the UK, have you been here before? Our homes don't come with AC. The houses are box houses and they are optimized for the winter more than the sun. So the way the houses are structured are such that because they are kind of built for the colder seasons, when it's the summer, we are so hot. So I have like a portable AC, but it's the sort of bulking AC that if you saw me on a Saturday carrying it, you might just think, girl, you need to marry rich. That's all, okay? But it's over there because it's like, it's the boxy, bulky thing. It's like a kitchen top high, as in it comes, so it's the Arlec. So it does cool a room. Like, I bought it for cake making purposes, because try being a cake maker in the summer. I think that should be a punishment, actually. That should be a punishment by the courts. Like, can you imagine that being a punishment? Like, the judge says you're sentenced to making a 3-tier cake on a summer's day when the weather is about 32 degrees C. Mm-hmm. You will... People... One day I need to kind of pull a seat and sit here and tell you what it looks like being a cake maker in the summer. Oh, you would wish. Like, you know what? Every summer I'm reminded of why I should be a good Christian, because hell will be hot. Okay? Tatiana, this is your cue to go back and check your heart posture and your actions as a Christian. Because if you can't manage in that heat after that AC broke, you better ask yourself what Christian you are. Because hell will be hot. every summer I be like, I want to be a good Christian. I don't want to die yet. I want to fix my ways. Because hell, sis, will be hot. And it's eternal. God. Whew. But so, Tatiana, here's the question. I hope the AC person is coming out, okay? To fix it for you so you can be cool and chill in your house. Because we don't want a sister out here sweaty and bothered, okay? Because sweaty and bothered makes me irritated. Like I told you, I'll be like a devil on speed. First of all, I don't want to be bothered in the morning. And I don't want to be bothered when I'm hungry and irritable. And definitely don't want to be bothered when I'm the two plus hot and bothered. Okay? So, girl, please look after yourself. I have no recommendations for you at this point because I live in England. Okay? I'm cold all year through. And then 3 days of the summer, it's like, oh, what is this? Okay? All right? So maybe you need to go sit with Aunt Jackie. Okay? Aunt Jackie. Because I know the weather varies in different places. I mean, if you're talking to somebody who exists in the deserts of Dubai, it's like, please don't tell them you're hot because they'll be looking like you like, where have you come from? Because that is hot. And if you like coming from my native Ghana, where hot feels different because it's hot. You have 38 degrees C, but it's kind of humid. You have like air blowing through because back home I remember like the sun will be hot, but then you have like tree shades and you put a mat under the tree. It's just like some old stuff that I think about that was so priceless and yet so just brought me some real beautiful memories. Except in England, when it's hot, we don't even want to open the window, especially when there's a heat wave. You're advised not to open your window. And I'm like, everything about being hot means open the window, let fresh air in. Except in England, when it's hot, the advisory is keep your windows closed because allowing air in is allowing the warmth back. I'm like, I don't know what to do now. Oh, it's a maddening experience. Like the nuances of cultural experiences in terms of food, weather, and the entire like acclimatization into a place is wild. Like even now, this is me at the school run yesterday. I'll tell you, I went to pick my boy up at school. And it's raining, like it was tipping down. But we're not talking like hurricane level, like rain. England, all you have to do is wake up and you have a little puddle and it's like, oh, it's wet, it's rain. We are complaining all the time. But here's me. I got out of I have these, look, now I'm showing you my life. I have these, right? These are my slippers. These are like house slippers. And I have a selection of them that I wear for different things. For instance, I like flip-flops. But sometimes the flip-flops kind of bare your feet. So I have slippers like this that cover my feet. And some days when I cannot be bothered, I put my feet in and I go and do the school run. No one is looking, okay? So I'm going to go pick my son. It's raining. And I decided to wear something similar to these. So here's me at the school run. I have a skirt. It's a long skirt. It's like a lycra type of skirt, and I have a t-shirt like this, a white one, and I had my light coat. Why? Simple reason is I've been stuck indoors all day. Was it yesterday? Yes, I was stuck indoors doing some admin, and the heating was on, so I was warm, and I didn't really feel the weather until school run time. Actually, tell you what, I was here on a live doing that. And as soon as the cameras went off, I dashed off. And I was literally running late for the school run. I actually gave the school a heads up. So guess what? As soon as, if you want to see what I look like on the school run, check yesterday's video. You will see. So I had a t-shirt. It's a white t-shirt. I had a skirt and I had slippers. Tell me why I didn't have an umbrella. So I shot out of the house, got in the car was warm, got to the school run, and everybody, and I live in a small, like, it's a village setting. So it's not like a countryside, like a village countryside, but it's sort of an urban place where, you know, you can get to town, but it's very quiet and it's a quaint place to be. So when the rains come down, everybody and their dog is dressed for farmlands. Like, they have their Wellington boots on, they have their coats, and they have their brollies. Tell me why I stood out like a sore thumb when I showed up, and the teacher looked at me and said, "Oh, you're here." And I think it was here. When she said you're here, it was her saying, "Really? Did you think it was summer?" But the truth is, I'm like, I come from Ghana. This ain't rain, okay? This ain't rain. Let's get on. And by the time I got home, I was so wet. My slippers were so wet. I was like, what the hell was that? But you know what? I say that to say you are never going to catch me with Wellington boots all dressed. No, unless we're going to the North Pole, that won't be me. That's because I come from Ghana, okay? And I've been here 20 years. That's all, okay? So Texas heat, Tatiana, I'm sorry you're hot. That's all. People, it's 7:40, okay? If you're asking me a question, Paul says, can you make chin chin? No, because I don't know how to make chin chin. It's not my ministry. I make cakes, but I can easily go buy chin chin, so I can't make it. That's all. I guess if I tried it, but it's not what I do. It's not, the channel is for cake making. But I see that you tried chin chin and you liked it. And if I made it for you, you can't even have it because you're on the other side of the internet. See? So maybe you should go back to where you had it and buy it from them, or ask them to give them to you. Okay? I'm sorry. I can't help you. Okay? Oh, Carrie says the best cook I ever met came from Ghana. Oh my God. Now you're going to have to come back and tell us about that cook and the impression they made on you. But people, we are running almost 3 hours in. Okay? And for those of you who are just joining us, our sister Tatiana's AC is broken, okay? And she's hot. And we are literally, instead of hugging her and pet, no, Tatiana, you don't want to hug, do you? Do you? Tatiana, do you want to hug? No, not right now, except for the hubby. But right now, you want to avoid everybody like a plague, okay? Because you're like, I'm too hot. I don't want to be bothered, okay? But we are sending you hugs. And more than anything, we're sending you an AC repair guy to come and fix your AC. How are you prepping for Thanksgiving anyway? I know we have to sort out the cheesecake, okay? Like I told you, I've got the ingredients, I can pull them. But your sister needs time, okay? So let's hope you have backup plan, because the way it's going, can you make an eggless gender reveal cake? Jada. Oh, you're going to the hubby's uncle's house. Ooh, how long are you going to be there for? You know what? When American Thanksgiving comes along, I am so excited for you guys, because when you see it online, and I know the online is a representation of individual people's values and things, but it just reminds me about like my native Ghana and how we approach such gatherings. The amount of food, like you can never go to a Ghanaian gathering, right, and come home hungry. That's not a thing, okay? I'm not coming for you, my hosts, but serving me sandwiches and canapes and okay. I want chicken. I want chicken, like crispy spiced chicken with sweet chili sauce. Canapes, a little olive over there. And I'm supposed to be grateful. No. I refuse. Paul Smith. Oh. Paul says, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Paul, you too, you too, you too. Great having you, and I hope you felt settled because you walked in guns blazing. If we were man bashing, you would have gone peace out. But it's great to have you nonetheless. Jada is asking if I can make eggless gender reveal. Not the eggless. No. Because once I make some vegan options, why a gender reveal cake? Who is ordering? Is that you? Because why a gender reveal? I'm just curious to know. Oh, okay, it's you. So if you like to put an order in, are you in the UK? Like, is it one of those things where you want to order a cake so that it is cut online? Because if you really want to order a cake, you can check the homepage. There's a link to the website where you can find a contact form and contact me via email. Then yes, but just making a gender reveal cake online, first of all, you have to be in the UK for me to be able to make the cake, unless it's one of those where you order the cake and you want the cake to be made for content, because I know people do that. I don't do it. I will probably consider it. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you really want to order a cake, then check and put the details through the contact form so that at least we can discuss the details better there. Does that make sense? Oh, you are in London. Okay. I am not local to London, though. I am outside of London. Just to give you some sort of gauge. I'm outside London. So, yeah. I can't post the cake to you in London. So unless you are ordering with the intention to come and collect, it may just not. But you know what? Like I said, you can put all those details in a contact form and I will respond to you properly. Okay. Tatiana did answer me about the AC people. So hubby said they were going to come out today and they haven't as of yet. Oh, the deserts of Texas are rough, honey. I feel you, Tatiana. I feel you. Oh, okay. So you're spending the day at the hubby's uncle's house just for the day, and they live close by. Do you intend on taking the cheesecake though, so that I get on it? Okay. Carrie, we love you and thank you for stopping by. It's been a blessing to have you. We'll see you later. Auntie Jackie, you haven't made up your mind yet on the cheesecake. Okay, let's fix the cheesecake for you though. Let's fix it. It's supposed to be the pumpkin spice, isn't it? Is the pumpkin spice cheesecake correct? Is that one, or is some, because I bought the digestive cheesecake, digestive biscuit. I don't know if you can get it from there, but if you use a graham cracker for the cheesecake base, I tell you what you can add to it to kind of give it some add icing sugar, a pinch of salt, and add flavoring, and use butter. When you mix it in the base, use butter and bake the base for a little bit, just so that the butter intensifies the flavor. But if you don't have that and you can find some vanilla biscuits, I'm talking biscuit, the UK type biscuit, not American scone biscuit. So yeah, but I'll come and do it on here. The digestive really makes a big difference to how the cheesecake feels in terms of the base. The digestive little producer,
Yeah.
do you want to check the cupboard and give me that red biscuit? The red biscuit that is in the baking cupboard. Can you bring it to me, please?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, bring it then. Let's
I just
see.
want to have a few.
Is it the big one? Okay, well done. Bring
Yeah,
it.
but I just want to have a few.
You want to have a few? That's fine. I will open it.
Yeah, so can
Come
you
and say
open it?
come and say hello to your people.
Hello.
Yeah.
It
Then-
feels like I haven't been back in a while.
Yeah, okay. So now we are talking, so you can come and talk to your people. Come and say hello to them.
Hi. Noted. Can
Yeah,
we
that's Tatiana.
I kind of want to sit down.
No, because you want to go play your games.
I'm not playing my game.
Dude, come on here. Come and say hi.
I'm watching.
Oh, you are watching. What are you watching? Hey, buddy. Tatiana says, hey, buddy. Come and say hi back.
Wait, who's hey? Oh.
Yeah, Tatiana says, hey. So, yeah, the
So Jackie, who's Jackie again?
That's-
Our house. Like,
no, that's not our Jackie, but
different
that's Aunt
Jackie.
Jackie on the internet.
So different Jackie.
Yes. But it's
Why is Jackie such a popular name?
because it's a nice name, and Jackies tend to be very beautiful people.
What is Jackie's?
Maybe Auntie Jackie needs to tell the little producer why she is Jackie. Okay? Look, Jackie saying, hey, little guy. So, yeah, these are the Aldi brand of digestive. Chances are the digestives you will get over there will be McVitie's. So, either way, a digestive biscuit like this should make a great difference to the base. But we are going to be using this for...
Ah!
Be careful, don't hurt yourself. Did you
Why
say...
are these things so unstable?
Did you say... They are very unstable. Oh, you are about to go play a game. Right. Tatiana, let's check back in. You know what? I will check the community post to see if we are back tomorrow to make the cheesecake.
I want some of the biscuits.
I've already got the ingredients, as you can see. The biscuit is here, and the rest of the items are there. But my day is over today, so I might as well come and make the cheesecake, get it out of the way, just in time for you to be able to have the recipe for what you need it for over there. See? Oh, okay. Auntie Jackie Onassis. Ooh, okay. Royalty. That's nice. So is it just Jackie, or it's Jacqueline that's been cut short to be Jackie? Because I know people who are Jackie and they've always been Jackie. And I've wondered if it's Jacqueline that's cut to Jackie, or is it just Jackie being Jackie? Okay. And when she was asking, is it the Jackie we know? We have our agent is Jackie. As in our realtor is Jackie. So, my people, we went from making buttercream to munching on biscuits. Can I be honest? I like these for baking. I don't like them for my tea. If you want digestive for tea, stick with McVitie's, okay? If you want this for tea, just stick with McVitie's. This and it. But I'm using this for baking, so I'm not complaining. Okay? But people, I guess the point is, we made buttercream. We answered your favorite questions. I've caught up with my favorite people. It's good to see you. People, you know somebody we haven't heard from lately? Tapeta. Tapita. So I'm gonna go find where Tapita is, and I'll come back and tell you all where she is. But she did say that last month was a bit heavy. You know, remember she did mention her neighbor passed away, and Tapita has some health problems. So people, remember her in your prayers. We should come back and get rid of the cheesecake, and then we'll move on to some more bakes, because I have a cakes going out Wednesday and the weekend, and next week is a heavy one. So we are going to be prepping all of that, and in between all of that, I'll still be talking to you about ganache and everything else in between. Okay, so it's almost like 8 p.m. for Auntie Jackie and Tatiana. It's somewhere early afternoon in the Texas heat and whatever you're doing. Hopefully, Tatiana, you feel less hot, okay, and the AC person comes out. Auntie Jackie, I'll catch you soon. Lollipop, if she's still lurking here, Lollipop, love you. And oh, AC guy, yes, okay, that's enough. On a good note, let the AC guy do his job, feel better, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, this is how I get excited for strangers on the internet, and that's because you're all our lovely people. Happy baking. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.